Recording now. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to the CFB conference draft here. The second time we've done a conference draft. The first time we've done it at the start of the cycle. I think it's pretty fun, pretty electric way of picking these conferences. Obviously, last cycle, Ben and I came up with the IRL conference tie-ins, which I think like 90% worked well, but we also had some weird stuff like Boise State and Big Ten. The Big 12 as a whole was kind of out of misfit toys. So instead, we just decided to drop all the conference tie-ins and just have users draft who they wanted. I'm joined by Morty, King, and Dehootie. They are guys who, two criteria. A, they were very effective, very strong users in CFP 25, all had winning records, all were competing for titles, and they also did not participate in the previous conference draft, the draft we had for the final two seasons of CFP 25. So, boys, how we doing?
We do.
Great.
Awesome.
I know everyone's been ready for this. We've been talking about it for a while. What I have here, because I am, again, like, horrifically addicted to wheels, we are going to do a snake draft ultimately, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll loop back around the last pick in the first round. We'll get the first pick of the second round. Everyone, I mean, I don't need to explain snake drafts to everyone. Y'all know how snake drafts work, if you've listened to even, like, one sports podcast before. But we are going to shuffle the wheel a couple times and spin. No one, not even me, knows what the order's going to be yet. And as I spin this wheel, Morty, we'll start with you, and then King, and then Hootie. Oh, God. It is King, Morty, Hootie, Connor in that order. That will be the draft order, at least for the first round. We'll loop back around. King, Morty, Hootie, Connor.
I got the first pick.
But, Morty, what's your, like, as we pick users, what's your general rationale for, like, why, I guess, you ultimately pick the guys that you will?
So I got two criteria, and they're incredibly selfish, both of them. Incredibly selfish. Those who, in my general years and years and years of being in varieties of Madden leagues and cycles, people who I find to be generally good communicators and easy to schedule with. Once again, selfishness. My schedule is a little tight. I work a lot of weekends. The people who, in my experience, who have been proactive at communication and scheduling, I got some tight windows to work with my schedule. I was shocked I was able to get majority of my games in, even last cycle. But a lot of it was due to very proactive scheduling and just being on top of that. So at least going into this first couple cycles or whatever, it's definitely a big priority for me. And additional to that, I want to rebuild the Pac-12.
Oh, I love it. I did for a second, because when we scroll down, y'all will see a lot of former Pac-12 teams. I did consider just, like, getting the Big 12 out of here and having the Pac-12 replace it, but I figured, like, with the Big 10, like, with, all the former Pac-12 teams, like, also in the Big 10, I figured there's probably too much crossover to do that, but I do love you trying to rebuild the Pac-12. There's going to be a little bit of my rationale with that, but King, will go with you next. What is your general, I guess, like, logic for who you're going to pick?
Man, I was looking at guys that I know that I'm going to have to recruit against, being out in Nebraska. And then also, too, it's just one of those deals to where, like Morty said, guys that are easy to schedule with. And then lastly, I'm going to be honest, trying to get some guys that I like playing against, that are fun to play against, and then get some guys I can beat up on early in the season.
Hootie, what's yours?
Mine's pretty much a combination of the two. I would say, scheduling wise, like there's some guys, with some pretty wank schedules on here that I'm like, man, I want to kind of avoid them because it's just going to be a headache. And then another one was, I thought about recruiting. I thought about like, hey, prestige, all this stuff for schools. And then, kind of just people I enjoy playing, also who like enjoy beating up on, and that would be fun. Yeah, so that's pretty much my criteria.
Yeah, the recruiting point's going to be interesting for you because obviously, you're in the South, you're in Mississippi, although you're not, physically, I suppose, that close to like the Floridas, the Georgias of the world. And there is no Mississippi State user, so they'll be, mediocre, if not worse, every year. So you can kind of run that state, at least to a certain degree. I will be curious, like with the with how they're rewarding like proximity to home with having recruiting business be cheaper. I'm wondering like how much more localized recruiting is going to become. So we're kind of all, in a way, in an interesting spot. Obviously, I have Alabama to compete with. Morty, Washington's kind of on their own, although you have Oregon to compete with, King, Nebraska as well. But I'll talk about mine real quick, and then we'll get going. I'm mostly, that's just kind of like repeat what other guys have been saying. Obviously, like guys that I historically have enjoyed playing against and enjoyed scheduling against in the past, like they will be, at least for the first few rounds, like guys I try to target. There are a couple of historical rivalries that Auburn has that I'm going to try to go after that also happen to line up with guys that I enjoy playing against that might, telegraph like my first couple picks, but I'll be trying to go after those. And yeah, just like the scheduling point, I have had good experiences scheduling with most users in this league, but there are a couple I'm trying to avoid. I'm not going to name names, but there are a couple I'm trying to avoid in terms of the scheduling points. So if no one else has anything else to say, we'll get straight to it. King, you're up first. You get to make the first selection here in the CFB 26 conference draft.
Oh, man, the Big 12, we're going to select out of the former SEC. We're going to go with the Missouri Tigers and RKO.
Okay. Any reason why you chose RKO specifically first? I think I can guess, but...
I mean, his name was just first on my target list early, so if his name was first, that's who we're going with. Shout out Missouri. Man. Come on to the Big 12.
Okay, now I'm almost wondering if I have to change my rationale for it, because I think I might end up with a super conference potentially, but who's next? Morty. Morty, you're up next. What you got?
Yeah, so once again, sticking with someone who I know is an easy scheduler, former Pac-12 team, and someone who I had a lot of good battles with last cycle. I'm going with Will Colorado.
Ooh.
What a pick. What a pick.
I love that. I'm curious because, like, Colorado, it's probably going to be... Well, I mean, we've got Kent State in here. I'm not going to say it's one of the worst rosters, but, I mean, it's one of the, like, I guess, lesser rosters, so you'll definitely have the advantage there. I'll be curious to see how that goes. No Travis Hunter, no Shadur Sanders left. Who you got?
They're stacked in other ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of just go. I have no idea what this guy is. I'm going off his pure roster, and I'm going Crucifix in Hawaii.
Okay.
Oh,
dang.
That hits Morty deep. Yeah, that's tough. I will say Crucifix not a bad user. I was in his conference for most of last year. We I would say generally like split our games. Not a bad user, but yeah.
Hawaii out of all teams.
I already went away from my whole draft strategy, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, King's first pick scared me a little bit. Like I'm now having to think of it. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick with my rationale from my first pick, and then since I get the back-to-back, like coming back around my second round, I'll kind of adjust for my second one here. But this is the guy I wanted to begin with. A former San Diego brother, just moved to the East Coast. I have to keep one of the most heated rivalries in real life, the Iron Bowl. I have to keep that together. I will be going with Hero. Alabama is my first pick. Auburn, Alabama playing in the ACC. It just doesn't sound right. And now we are going to audible with our second pick, boy. Because I'm just going to say I was going to take Lucky with my second pick, but I don't. Well, I mean, Auburn, Georgia, oldest rivalry in the South. I will not be doing that anymore. I will not be doing that. Instead, give me Cam. Give me Central Michigan.
I just saw him.
I mean, Cam,
I love me some Cam. Cam's the best.
Absolutely, very easy to schedule with. A Grand Rapids brother, someone whose wedding I went to. I mean, love Cam. Central Michigan, not the best roster, and I feel pretty good about that matchup. So yeah, I'll take Hero and I'll take Cam. And now, Hootie, you are next up.
So I'm gonna go Troy and Michigan here.
Love it.
Figured he's good prestige school. I don't know how much that weighs into if I win to getting like up in the rankings, but I think it'll do well. So
yeah, high prestige school. You'll have to deal with Bryce Underwood for at least 3 seasons. That'll be tough. But yeah, like on the whole, like Michigan probably doesn't have the best roster.
Porto, baby.
I like where we are right now.
That's true because Troy's super run first. Bryce Underwood might want out after the freshman season. We'll see. I keep having to run myself. Morty, you are up next, and then King gets the back-to-back after.
All right. I don't know who he is, but I love ASU and the uniform, so I'm going with Lonnie ASU.
Nice.
Yeah,
I was going to go him too, but I don't know who he is.
Lonnie, kind of a wild card. I don't know what to expect, but I
don't even
love
have
that you're
him on my
rebuilding
list.
Pac-12. I love it.
Yeah.
All right,
Stay out of my way.
King, 2 selections back to back.
All right. We're going to go with an old rivalry. I think it's an old rivalry, but I'm really not sure. But we're going to go with Evan in Texas.
All
We're
right.
going to go
Yeah.
Evan in Texas. I want me some of the Longhorns. Oh, and then I get to go back to back.
Yes, sir.
Well, shucky ducky. I just got to keep going on my list. Nah, let me go down. Nope, I'm not deviating from my strategy. I'm going to get him later. Let's go with Old Man Grid in Texas A&M.
Okay, so when you're the 1 seed, who do you want to play most in the playoffs? Because, I don't know. The Big 12 stuff. Morning.
All right, let's continue this. And Austin, USC.
Oh, wow.
That's a good pick. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You guys are gonna make me feel bad.
Not me. There's no feelings attached.
Who do you are up, and then I get the back-to-back?
I'm gonna go a guy that's very easy to schedule with, and Jesse in Penn State.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Jesse's awesome.
Yeah, I like what you've got going on with, like, I mean, other than Hawaii, you're going up against, like, really strong historic teams, so.
Sure, yeah.
I like what you've got going on, yeah. The strength of schedule will be high.
You make me away at Hawaii, by the way. I want to be at Hawaii. That's
I wish I
one,
could.
request.
The conference games are locked. I mean, either the first or the second year, you'll be away at Hawaii, so you'll
True.
go there at least once. Okay, so ACC. I get the back-to-back now. I was so sure that no one else was going to put Florida first. I was so sure. And then this man, Puff, comes out of absolutely nowhere. And I know he's a Gator fan. Like, he was at the same Florida-Texas A&M game I was at. Like, I know he's a Gator fan. He's just as diehard as I am. But I was hurting for a long time after that lottery, and I want revenge. So we are going to go with Puff's Florida
Love
Gators. And now, you know what? I'm kind of rebuilding the SEC here. This is where I will take Lucky's Georgia Bulldogs to reform the oldest rivalry in the South, and I want Florida, Georgia in the same conference too. I feel good about this. Who do you up?
All right. Boy, I think with this, I'm gonna go Kentucky and AK.
I don't know who that is.
AK,
I don't know either. I don't even know if I played him, but
Was he Tennessee last year?
I think he was Tennessee, yeah, because Clad was Tennessee for the first, 3 seasons, and then they left, and I think AK took them over. He's solid,
He was Tennessee.
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Kentucky.
I thought wasn't Crucifix Tennessee at some point? No.
I don't think so. I think Crucifix is Arizona, or
I don't know.
ASC privilege the whole time. I'm not sure.
I don't know either. Yeah.
Morty.
All right, so I gotta somewhat deviate from my general plan here at this point. Let's take a flyer on Guap, Maryland.
Guap, Maryland.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
he was staring at me in the face right there for my next pick. But
Yeah, he's probably, yeah.
it's the wild card. I don't know who he is.
I mean, there's one guy,
Good, could be bad.
I think we all know who I'm talking about, who I'm going to say really good user, really bad team. I'm curious when he gets drafted.
Right.
We shall
Yeah, I
see.
know who you're talking about.
We shall see.
Well, I think there's 2 of them, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, no, true, for sure. King, back-to-back.
2 of my guys right here. I got to take them both. The first one we're going to take is a middle of America rivalry. We were just talking about him before we started. Great dude. We are going to go with the Oklahoma Sooners and Tyree.
Yes.
Nice.
That is we had some ball games last year. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I bet.
And then since he called me out in chat earlier, I got to take my boy. The Catholics versus the Convicts is that's Notre Dame and Miami, but Nebraska and Miami had a really good rivalry as well. So we're going to take Justin and the Miami Hurricanes.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And I love how, I mean, obviously you didn't do this with Miami, but I love how we're kind of sticking to IRL conferences a little bit. The only exception to that is the SEC, but I've got the SEC going, Big 12 with the exception of Miami. The Pac-12 is being rebuilt, so I love that. Morty.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta
Yeah.
get Oregon back to the Pac-12. We're going
Yeah, you
doomed.
do. Yeah, you do. I was wondering. I was surprised you took Guap, but you had to.
I just was hoping someone would put me out of my misery or take the choice away from me at this point. But that's historic. We got to do it.
Hootie.
I'm gonna go. I mean, it's not the easiest, but he loves to get his game in. Madden, Indiana.
Okay. Yeah. Really good scheduler. Like he will
Yep.
move heaven and earth to accommodate you. So that's
For
good.
sure, he's proactive. Yep.
Yeah. Indiana will be fun. Yeah, this is a mismatch of teams here. I like what the SEC's got going on. I get the back to back. I am just about done with Allen dropping 60 on me, so we will not be doing that. This is where. You know what? Give me little Alex. I think it had to happen at some point. Obviously, a very strong user. Even when he's like not locked in, he's good. But like when he's locked in, there are very few that are better. But Kent State, like early in the cycle, I have to hope I can just kind of run over him. And then on the turnaround, another rival, a rival of mine from way back in Madden 17, and another, I believe, like more minor, but another rival of Auburn's. Give me Clouds, Tennessee Vols.
Nice.
What a conference. What a
That's
conference.
gonna be my next pick,
On the
but
turnaround.
shoot.
I like what we got going on. Hootie, you're up.
You know what? Just give me the Gamble brothers, and I'll just go Gamble Notre Dame.
Gamble Notre Dame is in there. Lasted a long time, especially given people's, I guess, early strategy, but it is Notre Dame. Morty.
Sticking with my somewhat general theme, let's get Troy and Michigan into this new Pac-12, aka Big Ten.
It's gone.
Michigan's already been taken.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. In that case,
Do you want me to tell you who's left?
no, I think I got the rest of them.
Okay.
I think I just missed that one. I think I put Gamble in before him instead.
Gotcha.
You know what? Looking at what we got left, going back to somebody who I know is generally available. Let's go King Texas Tech.
King, Texas Tech.
Very nice.
Going to Big Ten. All right. King, these are your last two selections of the draft here. You get to go back to back.
Oh, man. All right. Shucky ducky. We got South Carolina, Rutgers, Ohio State, LSU, and Clemson. Phil is good. I like playing Phil with JMU.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Big 12. Yeah, let's go for the first one. We'll go with Phil and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And then the second one, let's go with my brother, man. We got to go get it, man. Always because we have good games. Let's go with Allen and the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's my dog.
So the Big 12 will be Kings, Nebraska, RKO, Missouri, Evan, Texas, Grid, A&M, Tyree, Oklahoma, Justin, Miami, Phil, Rutgers, Allen, South Carolina. That will be the Big 12. Morty, your final selection.
You said Justin was already taken? I guess I missed that one too.
Justin got taken. It's Steele, Ohio State, Warren, LSU, Wozy, Clemson. Those are the last three.
Wozy, Clemson, come on down.
Yeah. I mean, I knew if you weren't going to do it, the Hootie would, but I was praying on it. All right. Hootie.
You know what? I'm gonna take Warren.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want the smoke. I want it, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be forced to play him anyway. So might as well just make it a conference.
Honestly,
and I feel bad for Connor because
no, it's fine.
he would have had a lot.
I would not have hated playing Warren. Like it's all good, but
It's super fun, and he's super easy to schedule with. So it matches all the criteria.
100%. All right, so
Maybe LSU has a bad team week year one. I guess I don't even know what's on their roster, but it doesn't really matter for Warren. Warren could take Kent State and go all the way, but
they'll have Nussmeier still. I don't think it's some like crazy roster necessarily. Like you should.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The LSU roster. Okay, I might be wrong. Real quick, I guess before we wrap up, and I appreciate all three of you for being flexible with your schedule and for making this happen. I guess we'll kind of, give our quick, not preview, but like our quick thoughts about how our draft went, how you're feeling about your conference. So, Morty, we'll start with you. You mostly rebuilt the Pac-12. It is your Washington Huskies, Will's Colorado, Lonnie's Arizona State, Austin USC, Guap Maryland, Doom Oregon, King Texas Tech, Wozy Clemson. Just real quick, how we feel about that conference?
Yeah, I like it. Obviously, like once you said, leans towards the old Pac-12. I'm obviously heavily personally invested working at Washington. I'm just happy to kind of, I've been at Washington for a little while now, so I remember fond memories of the Pac-12 and just seeing all these teams coming in the Husky Stadium. And last year was fun. I'm glad I got a natty, but this year for me will very much be more of a personal journey as I basically spend all my time at Husky Stadium at this point, both in the game and out. So definitely looking forward to good cycle. I think it's a good group of guys. A lot of guys I've played last cycle and definitely have a good understanding of kind of what they may be trying to do and just have a good sense of it. But obviously a couple new guys I'm totally unfamiliar with. I know King put on a show last year, put up a lot of numbers. But overall, looking for a great one. I'm excited for it.
King, again, mostly rebuilding the old Big 12. King, Nebraska, RKO, Missouri, Evan, Texas, Grid, A&M, Tyree, Oklahoma, Justin, Miami, Phil, Rutgers, Allen, South Carolina. What are your thoughts on that conference?
I was pretty pleased, man. Like I set out to do, is build that Central America conference back up with the real Big 12, and just got some good regionally located teams, and then got some fun matchups with two really good users and Phil, who took James Madison very far last year. Probably will do the same with Rutgers. Justin, who's always fun to play, and with a really good recruiting area down there in Miami, and then Allen, who's always good with South Carolina. So I was really excited about getting those three at the end, and then just being able to put those Central America teams back on the map with Nebraska leading in front of that.
Absolutely, and Phil, a good selection. I'd say like if you want like Phil in your conference, you probably want him early, before he can really like start building that.
Build the team up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because he'll have a big roster advantage over him first couple seasons. But it's a fun conference. Dahudi, you have obviously yourself as Ole Miss, Crucifix Hawaii, Troy Michigan, Jesse Penn State, AK Kentucky, Matt AK Dealing Debts Indiana, Gamble Notre Dame, and Warren LSU. How you feeling?
We don't really have a set. We're not really SEC. We're just kind of all over. But yeah, I like it. I have a lot of guys that are easy to schedule with. I know the casino workers might be a little rough, but that's fine. I can kind of adjust around there. I'm a late night person, so that's not a problem. And then, I love playing Warren. He challenges me. Hopefully he thinks I challenge him. And yeah, it's going to be fun to start that rivalry and hopefully keep that going. And I'm really just hoping for the next draft that since we're in the same one, we won't be in the same one again. But
yeah, we'll see.
Who knows?
I'll need to figure out like how I'm going to pick my the next draft. I'll need to figure out like how I'm going to pick those users. Maybe it'll be off of like success first couple seasons. Maybe it'll be off something else. I don't know. For my ACC, I have obviously myself as Auburn, Hero Alabama, Cam Central Michigan, Puff Florida, Lucky Georgia, Little Alex Kent State, Cloud Tennessee, Steel Ohio State. It's kind of a stacked conference, at least based on user skill. Fortunately, we've got Central Michigan and Kent State in there to kind of like calm things down a little bit in terms of the actual teams. But I'm excited. Like a lot of guys who are easy to schedule against. A lot of Auburn's really Auburn's three like biggest rivalries in real life with Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, and Auburn, Florida is an old rivalry, kind of a dormant one, but an old rivalry as well. So glad I got to make that happen. Looking forward to playing those guys a couple times, and it's gonna be fun. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Do any of you have anything else you want to say before we wrap things up? Again, it's weird because like no one's gonna see this until like after the team reveal. But anything anyone want to say?
I love Better League.
Me too, Morty. Me too. Appreciate y'all for joining, and thank you for those of you who, again, after the team reveal are watching this back. This is how y'all got selected, and somehow Warren was not the last pick. It's probably the most shocking thing about this draft. Peace.